Today I'd like to talk about medication. If you guys saw my video that I made a couple days ago, Why You No Face, I kind of went into a little bit of detail, but I wanted to talk about medication specifically because it's really been nothing. I've never addressed medication here on my channel, and I just want to convey my thoughts on medication as a whole. This right here is trazodone. It helps with depression. It's also a sleeping medication, but also is an anxiety medication all combined into one. And I've taken antidepressants before, but this medication I'm using right now, trazodone, works wonders. It doesn't really fix the depression part, but it fully fixes the anxiety part. Like when I take one of these, within 20 minutes, I can feel, if I'm anxious and I'm going through like a massive anxiety, it completely just wipes it out. Like it calms me, and it's quite honestly, I find amazing that this works so well. I've never had medication that works this well in terms of fixing anxiety that I'm having. And again, I've had anxiety, but since November, it's never been this bad to where it affects my day-to-day life and my day-to-day functions. When your anxiety gets so bad that you literally don't want to go out, you don't want to talk to anybody, you want to stay away from almost everybody around, that's pretty bad, I think. Because that's typically, I'm an introvert, I'm a huge introvert. However, despite me being introverted, I've never really cut people off, you know? Like I've never cut my family off before. I've never cut people who are close to me off before. And it's weird because it's not me. And in a lot of ways, medication can be bad or good for you. It really can be. I was on another antidepressant back when I was 19, and it really had a negative effect on me. In fact, certain antidepressants can have the opposite effect that it's supposed to do. And I found myself, the medication I was taking at that time, I think it was, I don't remember the name of it, but it was making me really moody, and I'm not a moody person. Like, I'm very relaxed, down-to-earth, chill person. Like, everybody who ever has met me knows this about me. I'm not high maintenance. I'm not someone who's, like, always up in arms about everything. I mean, I may convey that in my videos, but let's be honest, that's a persona. It's entertainment here on YouTube. You know, if you have to present yourself in an entertaining fashion, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not saying that all my videos are fake reaction, but I do personify my personality here, and it isn't really necessarily a reflection of who I really am. But despite this working so well for me, I want to just kind of say that I don't want people who take medication to feel like they are not worthy people. Because when I was 19, and I still think this now, but because this is actually helping me, I've changed my viewpoint on it. When I was 19, I hated being on medication because I felt that I had to rely upon medication in order to feel better. And in many cases, some people need medication to actually feel better. But I don't like the fact, I've always been a person who I've never really asked for help. I've always been my own person to get through things on my own, even going back on through my stages of sexual abuse. I mean, I did go to therapy on that, but I dealt with a lot of the emotions and a lot of the feelings that I went through on my own. It was my own journey, my own struggle, my own battle, and I didn't really let anybody help me. I could have. There was people wanting to help me, but it's not an act of arrogance. It's an act that I want to get through things on my own, and I feel like I'm a stronger person without the help of other people. Maybe that is arrogance. I don't know. But I've always been someone who's very, you know, does things myself. But if you take medication, I don't want you to feel like you're worth less of a person, because that's something that I had to kind of destroy mentally, because there was times when I was 19, I'm almost 25 now, 19, that I felt like if I took medication, I wasn't a lovable person, I wasn't a valuable person, I was a junkie. Like, I actually thought that me taking antidepressants made me some, drug addict, junkie, but the reality is that wasn't true at all, because I wasn't addicted to anything. It's just, I guess it's there's a lot of misconceptions that go along with medication, that if you even take antidepressants that you're a junkie or that you're crazy with pills and stuff like that. And that's just not true. Are some people like that? Perhaps. But one of the things I would recommend that if you take medication, whether it be antidepressants or whatever it be, anxiety, painkillers, is always take the recommended dosage that it recommends you or your doctor recommends you, because there's a reason why these have warning labels on why not to take alcohol with them, why not to overdose on these pills, because just because you're in emotional or physical pain doesn't mean that you should abuse these pills and further harm yourself, because a lot of people don't take that in consideration, that when you overdose on whether it's anxiety medication, sleeping medication, pain medication, it does affect you internally in a very bad way. It destroys your liver. And it may feel really good at that current moment, but that isn't necessarily a reflection of how you will be in the next year or two when your liver goes out because you've been abusing said medication. But I want this video to just be a reminder that don't feel ashamed that you're taking medication, because some people, at least with myself right now, I need this stuff. Like, I wouldn't be showing my face right now if it wasn't for this pill right now that I took, because I had some anxiety this morning. I had a night terror again. I forgot to take this when I slept, and without taking this, I had a night terror, and and I woke up this morning, and it was terrible. I had good sleep, but the night terror really put me in a bad mindset for this morning, so I took this morning, and it completely chilled me out, and here I am making a video, you know? Without this, I wouldn't be making this video right now. I wouldn't be showing my face at all. But yeah, another thing is I have a lot of stoners who watch me. Nothing wrong with that. But your advice to just smoke weed doesn't always work for people. I'm actually going to the weed shop. There's a weed shop very close to me. I'm going to pick up some weed, some blue haze. But the thing is, you can't always just recommend weed to people, because that doesn't always fix problems. For some it does, but weed has a different effect on every single person who smokes it. And I had a lot of comments saying, you just smoke weed, it fixes everything. No, you can't say ignorant statements like that, because weed doesn't necessarily will fix things. In many cases, I know people who've taken weed and it makes their anxiety worse. And you don't want your anxiety worse. You know, it has a different effect chemically with every person who does it. So, you know, you can recommend marijuana to someone, but don't come into this impression that weed fixes everything. If it did, believe me, I'd be smoking it every goddamn day. But if anything, I smoke weed maybe twice a month at most, maybe 3 times, if not even that. And weed does make me feel chill, but honestly, it doesn't take the anxiety away as much as this stuff does. And that's why I'm taking this, because this was far less expensive, surprisingly enough. I'm on my parents' insurance for only a few more months, and then I get off my insurance, which this would normally cost hundreds of dollars. I got it for 10. Versus if I pay 2 grams for marijuana, which is expensive here, I'm paying like $40, $50 for something that will last me a day or two, you know? Depending on how much weed I smoke. But, like, that's why I'm taking this, because it has a better effect on me than marijuana. Not that marijuana doesn't help, it does, but it just doesn't affect me like the medication. So, gist of this video is, if you take medication, you're not any less of a person, and sometimes you need medication in order to get through things. And when I did my antidepressants, I took it to a point where I got out of my depression, the medication helped me, and then I was off of medication for almost 5 years. And now here I am on anxiety medication, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I almost forgot, I want to promote my TeamSpeak again. I've actually been building quite a awesome online community, and a lot of people have been coming in there and making friends with other people all around the world. It's been a really cool exchange. The address is right here, thedarksideuser.teamspeak3.com. That's the server address, TeamSpeak3. Search it up on Google. It's free to download. It's really easy to use, but I do run a gaming voice server for people to come in and interact. I'm in there a lot of the time, but I'm usually in my own room, and sometimes I talk to subscribers and stuff, but I'm in there almost every single evening before I go to bed, playing games and stuff like that, so anybody is welcome. My community that I've started is pretty much growing. I also have my Steam group, linked down below in the description if you are interested in joining my Steam group, which is a pretty big community of almost 3,000 people, and it continues to grow, so feel free to check that out.